America has a deadly problem.
You see gunshot victims, they need gunshots.
All the way to the right, as far as you can, all the way to that side.
This weekend is making us stop and look like never before.
All I want to do is find my mom. Somebody needs to tell me where she is. I want to know if she's dead or alive or if she's still in Walmart.
2 deadly mass shootings in one day. 2 American cities added to the growing club of those who struggle to stay strong.
It's torn the fabric of this community, but it will be repaired.
Scared to even get in my car by myself, so.
Now, in El Paso, Dayton, and beyond, pain, fear, and frustration are shining spotlights on gun control.
We don't have to live like this.
White supremacy.
We are also treating this as a domestic terrorist case.
And where those who hate find their haven.
They're going to the darker and darker corners of the web. This is not Facebook memes, you know. The stuff that they're talking about is very dark.
Tonight, an in-depth look at America's weekend of rampages and what it means moving forward. KGW News at 11 starts now.
Good evening, everybody. Tonight, families and loved ones in 2 American cities are tasked with planning 29 funerals. This after 2 mass shootings in a little less than 13 hours, one in a Walmart in Texas, the other in a popular stretch for nightlife in Ohio. In one case, police say the shooter is dead. In the other, they say they have a suspect in custody. And we have a lot to get to tonight about what happened and what it means for us as a country moving forward. So we begin, though, with the first mass shooting of the weekend in El Paso.
Yeah, pop, 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 pop. It just increases rapid fire to get as much people as could to kill.
Tonight, people in this Texas border town are remembering the horror of this shooting and grieving the lives lost. They held another vigil tonight for the 20 victims killed in that Walmart yesterday morning. 2 of them were that married couple you just saw. They were there buying school supplies. Their family believed that Jordan Achando and her husband Andre did everything they could to protect their infant son.
We think he shielded her, she shielded the baby, and that's how he was able to survive.
You would have expected nothing less.
I'd expect nothing less from him.
Jordan died on the way to the hospital. The family was hoping Andre had survived. It wasn't until late this afternoon they learned he also was killed. Now to Dayton, Ohio, where gunshots rang out just hours after the massacre in Texas. This one happened in a popular nightlife area known as the Oregon District. People there are mourning the 9 lives taken. One of them, police say, was the shooter's own sister, 22-year-old Megan Betts. Survivors say the scene was horrifying.
I look down the sidewalk and just see a row of just a row of bodies. There's people shot, some alive, some not.
Police say they shot and killed the shooter in that case less than 1 minute after that massacre started.
Hate has no place in our country, and we're going to take care of it.
President Trump, alongside the First Lady there, is weighing in on the shootings, praising law enforcement and offering his condolences to the 2 communities in brief remarks to reporters. He's expected to make a longer statement tomorrow morning at 7. We'll bring it to you here on KGW. His address will come as calls grow for Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to end the August recess so senators can take up a bill on gun control. And Oregon's own representatives are among those demanding a vote. KGW's Lindsay Nadrich joins us now with what they're saying and with more on that bill. Lindsay?
Yes, it's known as the Bipartisan Background Check Act of 2019, but I'll get to that in a minute. Let's first start with what Oregon lawmakers are saying. Check out this post from Democratic Senator Jeff Merkley. He tweeted directly to Mitch McConnell and President Trump saying, "Stop cowering to the NRA. It is past time for a full debate on the Senate floor on every idea that can help reduce these massacres." We're also hearing from Republican Congressman Greg Walden. He released a statement today condemning white supremacy, also saying in part, this can't keep happening and we must work to put an end to these horrid, senseless crimes. Also weighing in, Congresswoman Suzanne Bonamici. She sent out several tweets today calling for action and the passage of the bill. She tweeted saying the House passed bipartisan background check legislation, H.R. 8, that could prevent gun violence and stem this unacceptable loss of life if only the Senate would take action. We also heard from Senator Ron Wyden today. He held a town hall in Beaverton. He said he would be on the first plane back from PDX if the Senate takes up gun legislation.
Oregonians are tired of meaningless words. What they want is meaningful action. And it all has to start on the floor of the United States Senate.
Well, the bill would create new background check requirements for gun transfers between unlicensed individuals. That means a background check would be required on every gun sale or transfer, with exceptions for gifts to family members. Federal law already requires licensed gun dealers to run background checks, but this would require unlicensed gun sellers to use the same system or transfer firearms only through licensed dealers. Some say this infringes on their Second Amendment rights. Others say the measure doesn't go far enough. Again, it passed the House in February, but the Senate is on recess, and there's no word yet from McConnell if he plans to call an emergency session. Back to you.
All right, Lindsay Nadrich live for us. Lindsay, appreciate the info. Thank you. And hey, there's a lot of claims floating around on the internet about these shootings related to the suspects and to just how many mass shootings we've seen this year. Our Verified team has been working to figure out basically what's true and what's false. So that in mind, here is Jason Puckett.
Not only are some viral claims false, some of them actively seek to change the conversation or mislead. Like these two examples we've seen online after the major shootings this weekend. This is an article posted on Gateway Pundit with tens of thousands of shares, and its core claim is being repeated across social media. Now, it claims the El Paso shooter's information has been changed online and suggests it was done for political purposes. But there's a problem. It bases this claim off screenshots from MyLife.com. It's a site that gives basic information on pretty much anyone in the country based off public records, social media platforms, and more. But it can literally be changed by anyone. You can watch us do it. We loaded that same page from the article. It now says he's an African-American Republican. A few clicks, and I've changed it to say he's a Caucasian Democrat and that he's agnostic. Save it, refresh it, and my changes are still there. So what does this mean? Well, it means any claims about a shooter's motives, political affiliations, religion, income, or really any information at all coming from MyLife.com can't be trusted. The information on the shooter's pages can be manipulated by anyone for any reason. And sites like Gateway Pundit are sharing that false information and building a narrative around it. Bottom line, claims based off MyLife.com data are false. Next, a post you may be seeing a lot right now, that with the shootings this weekend, the U.S. is now up to 249 or 250 mass shootings in 2019 alone. This claim is true, but it needs context. While the FBI has a definition for mass killing, there's actually no legal definition for a mass shooting. So that number changes based on your source. The 250 plus comes from the Gun Violence Archive. Now, their database does show more than 250 mass shootings in 2019, but that's from their own definition. On their site, if 4 or more victims were shot, they consider it a mass shooting, period. They don't base it off deaths, location, or any other context. So gang violence and even accidental discharges could be included. But if you use the FBI definition of a mass killing, now it's 3 or more people killed, the number drops from 250 to about 30. That's a massive difference. The El Paso shooting was the deadliest this year, and the Dayton shooting is the 3rd deadliest. Now, it's not fair to compare shootings, but the 250 number does need context. There haven't been 250 shootings this year as deadly as what we saw this weekend. Before you share something like these, send us an email and let us verify for you if they're true. With your Verify, I'm Jason Puckett.
All right, well, speaking of things posted online, police believe the El Paso shooting suspect posted an anti-immigrant manifesto on the website called 8chan, and that's why they're investigating this as a potential hate crime and even a domestic terrorism case. Marcelino has a look at what that website 8chan is and how hate spreads online.
To grapple with what happened inside this El Paso Walmart, we have to understand where this hatred and darkness is festering. It's happening online every single day. Mainstream sites like Facebook and Twitter are shutting out white nationalists and their beliefs, but people like alleged El Paso shooter Patrick Crusius are finding refuge elsewhere.
They're going to the darker and darker corners of the web. So the services where I'm seeing a lot of activity now are the Chans, the image board sites, 4chan, 8chan, that kind of thing.
Police are investigating if the shooter is indeed the same person who posted a 4-page manifesto on 8chan moments before the attack in El Paso. 8chan is a message board first created in 2013 by Frederick Brennan. The site operates out of the Philippines and is a complete free-for-all, full of anonymous posters.
They usually don't have an in-person network. They might have a small one, they might have 1 or 2 friends, but they're really getting a lot of their feedback online.
8chan has become a megaphone and recruiting tool for white nationalists.
This is not Facebook memes, you know. The stuff that they're talking about is very, very dark.
Dr. Megan Squire is a computer science professor at Elon University in North Carolina. She studies how hate groups are using the dark web to spread their message.
We're going to have to do something because they're inspiring each other. So, and you can see that in their own words. Then those are just the ones we know about.
Both the shooters in New Zealand's mosque massacre and the Poway, California synagogue shooting announced their plans in advance on 8chan. Brennan, 8chan's creator, no longer runs the site and is calling on the site's current owner, Jim Watkins, to shut it down. Back to you.
That was Marcelino Benito reporting, and we've now learned the internet company Cloudflare, which provides technical support to 8chan, is pulling their support in the wake of the El Paso shooting, and that means that website could go offline shortly. Stay with us for the latest on these shootings. We'll have updates on KGW News at sunrise, and of course, we'll always keep you posted at kgw.com and through our mobile app.